This is Betstars and Stripes.
Hello everyone, welcome to New Orleans, Louisiana, home of Super Bowl XLVII. It's great to have your company on Betstars and Stripes for the next hour right here on Radio Row in New Orleans. We're bringing you the program as we build up to the biggest day on the NFL, the American sporting calendar, the Super Bowl XLVII. Radio Row abuzz, hundreds of stations around us. All the big names and celebrities in Hollywood and sport are in the nearby vicinity. We'll do our best over the course of the next hour, and we'll bring you all the odds, of course, too, from Betstar, which is the proud home of American sports betting in Australia and US sports betting. You can head to betstar.com.au. And you don't think the principal at Betstar takes his role seriously. I speak of Alan Eskander. He's here in New Orleans for Betstars and Stripes. Hello and welcome, Alan.
Thanks, Hutchie. It's great to be here. Yes, we do take it very seriously. We had a draw in the office. We pulled a name out of a hat. Who had to come to New Orleans to do this hard gig? And amazingly, it was my name that came out. So I'm very happy to be here. It's fantastic.
Well, you're a winner in all forms. Good on you, Alan. How have you found the Super Bowl experience to date?
It's been an extraordinary experience. I mean, I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of sport in lots of different countries and a lot of sport within Australia. And you think you know an amazing procession, an amazing show that's put together. When I say the show, I don't just mean the Super Bowl itself. I mean the lead up to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And the last 3 or 4 days has just been amazing. It's been mind-blowing, and they do it very well. And you can understand why the AFL sends scouts over here every year to try and pick up tips and bits for how we can improve our game and improve the showcase.
Before we get on, I want to ask you about your experience with Beyonce yesterday, because you had an amazing day with Beyonce. You were there when the famous singing of the national anthem happened. My question for you is, just help us set the scene here where we are at Radio Row. Have you seen a media circus in one room quite as good as big as this before? Because there are literally, I think there's 300 radio stations in about a football-size arena, and maybe 10, 15 TV live streams. It's quite something else, isn't it?
And you and I, Hutchie, and Croc Media and SEN are sitting here. And, it's pretty amazing. Not only have you got all the media and all the stations that we see on TV, including CBS, including ESPN, including all the big networks, Fox and all the other big networks, but you've just got so much celebrity walking through the room. And there's not that much hoo-ha about it. Like, they're walking through with their agent or their PR manager, and you've got people tugging on their shirt saying, hey, can you come over here for 2 minutes and do a quick interview with us? And there's not that much fanfare with it. So it's a pretty amazing experience to be able to do it. In relation to Beyonce, that was one of the great experiences that I'd had travelling abroad anywhere, not only in sporting terms, but to give you a bit of background to the listeners who probably aren't completely across it. Over here in the US, there has been an enormous amount of coverage about Beyonce's performance in the presidential inauguration. And she sang the national anthem for Obama, but she lip-synced it. And they absolutely crucified her. Front pages of the newspapers, every radio station, every TV station, saying it was un-American and she should be ashamed of herself. So she comes out in the press conference. There's probably 500 people there. It's intimate. I'm like 15th row of a Beyonce concert. She walks out, the flag is waving behind her, and she says, can everyone stand, please? I'm thinking, this is a little bit weird. And she belts out the most spine-tingling, amazing rendition of the national anthem that I've ever heard. It brought chills down my spine, and the whole crowd erupted thereafter and just gave her amazing applause. She was sensational, and she looked fabulous, Hutchie.
I tell you what, in terms of Super Bowl moments, it's nearly one of my favourites. I don't think I've ever seen a media room diffused that quickly. Like, the controversy went out of that in 2 seconds, didn't it? And she answered some questions, but it was amazing.
And it was fantastic on her behalf. It was fantastic on the behalf of her management, her PR team, and the NFL, because they gave them a little bit to talk about. So they let them. They knew that if they tried to suffocate the topic completely, it would just keep coming up. It would actually ruin the press conference. So they gave them little snippets of questions, but they managed it and they corralled them beautifully. And when they got too deep, they actually just came in and cut her off and went to the next question. It was fantastic.
Well, Dr. Turf's here, of course, in New Orleans and been a big part of the coverage all week and joined us on Betstars and Stripes. Doc, how's your Super Bowl been so far?
Yeah, fantastic. Really enjoying it per usual. Weather's a lot better than Dallas, Craig. I tell you what, it's about 100 degrees warmer. Spent the whole day today down on the French Quarter. It's spectacular down there. What a beautiful part of the world it is. And, really, really enjoying it. And it's funny noticing, I've been here since, I forget, Monday maybe. And just the build-up all week, and today it's
arrived, isn't it?
It's arrived. The bowl itself is, 12, 14 hours away. It's just got bigger and bigger, and very exciting.
Great moment before when Jeremy Piven walked through the Radio Row here, and we'll touch wood. We're going to have a crack at getting Jeremy. We have a go on Betstars and Stripes.
And Hutchie did have a go, Doc. You weren't here. He did have a go. He was hanging on his leg. You wouldn't let him go away. Please, just give us 2 minutes.
So we'll do our best. here at the at Betstars and Stripes, but he certainly knew who Alan was. Obviously got an account. Very much. He said, "I'll square you up later in the weekend, El Pal." And he's a cool cat. And the big news, of course, is that yesterday here in the States they announced the Entourage movie will be made. So that's going to be something else.
Yeah, I hope they get a new set of writers then, Craig, because it was a great series, but it really got very weak towards the end. And
that last 2 episodes, Doc, were horrible.
They really ran out of ideas. They had some terrible storylines in the last couple of series that were just floundered. But not that I'd bring that up with Jeremy when he lobs. But no, it'd be great to meet him. He's very entertaining.
And what about the golf courses out here, Doc? The word around town is you went and played TPC, which is one of the PGA golf courses here in Louisiana, and I think they said you really enjoyed hitting the ball about 140 times around the golf course.
I had a shocker. I must say, I borrowed clubs that... do you remember the footballer named Paul Callery? He would have found them too short, and he was about 5'2".
There's some cliche about a tradesman and his tools. I can't remember how that goes. How does that go?
But look, the course itself was beautiful, and the fairways and the greens were magnificent. But the course itself is still showing the signs of Hurricane Katrina, which apparently stripped every piece of vegetation from the course. So off the fairways and the greens, there's nothing. Like there's bare trees with no branches, no leaves, no nothing. You know, obviously the shrubs and stuff are growing back, but it's really quite bizarre.
Yeah,
it's almost like some sort of lunar landscape off the fairways.
And to give the listeners a bit of a feel for the city of New Orleans as well. Like, I mean, this is my first time here. And it's an amazing mix of, you can tell they've rebuilt a city after Katrina, but there are little pockets. The camaraderie between the people is pretty amazing. Like, it's obviously galvanised the whole community in terms of trying to rebuild a city basically from scratch. And there's little pockets that you can say are sort of brand new and redone and retouched up, and little pockets that are still requiring work. But an extraordinary effort by a city that was really devastated by a natural disaster and really trying to bring it together for a Super Bowl being in 2013.
The other thing I've noticed is I think every policeman in the world is here.
Oh, I agree.
I've never seen...
Double the police force.
I've never seen more coppers in my life.
Well, the crime rate here is high, and then the contrast between high and low, as you've identified, is enormous. 20% of people still don't have a home in New Orleans 8 years after Hurricane Katrina. That's 1 in 5 homes that get to be rebuilt. 20% of the city is displaced, and we did a tour on Thursday. It just struck me the enormity of what happened. And it's a symbolic day, this Super Bowl. This is the regeneration of a city. And we had a private event during the week that Alan put together with Rita Benson from the New Orleans Saints at the hotel. And just hearing her talk about the journey was something else too, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And to see the importance... I mean, sport's a wonderful thing, and we're lucky enough to all work in sport and all love sport. But it's one of those extraordinary things that it can really mesh a society and mesh people together. It gives them hope, and they've got a common thing that they cheer for. I mean, in the AFL, it's a little bit different because the AFL, you can be in Melbourne and barrack for a handful of teams. When you're in New Orleans, you go for the Saints. So every single person walking down the street...
I dispute that. I've asked a lot of people, a lot of locals, a lot of taxi drivers. They don't all barrack for the Saints. A lot of them hate the Saints. Don't ask me why. But I think it's a fairly bit of a spread.
The taxi drivers aren't really fair gauge, Doc. Fair go.
Well, I would have thought they would be the gauge.
The taxi drivers?
Why wouldn't they be?
Probably been shipped in for the weekend.
No, I asked them all, are you from New Orleans?
There wouldn't be enough taxi drivers.
They're all born and bred. And
who do you reckon
I just caught one here, and he actually barracks for the 49ers.
Not a very good one by all accounts.
I wonder if the 3 cab drivers Doc's asked represent a sample size big enough to be able to make a conclusion.
I am batting 3 from 3 at the minute.
It's evening here in New Orleans. It's not easy to be late for an evening broadcast, Doc.
Well, let me tell you, as I said, I've just come back from the... French Quarter, where all the big mobs are broadcasting, ESPN and Fox, they're all down there with their live 24/7 broadcast down there, and it is gridlock down there, Craig. Yeah, and I had to buy some merchandise crap for the kids. It's amazing that sporting merchandise is crap the world over. It doesn't matter what the nationality, it's garbage and overpriced.
The build-up just gets bigger and bigger by the day, and I think the Beyonce was the turning point for me, seeing that on Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of conjecture, Alan, about what she will sing on Sunday. You could certainly tell by the press conference that she's put a lot of work into it. The build-up, in terms of her preparation. She's been in Super Bowl for... We're going to talk football, by the way, very soon. We're having some fun at the moment.
Because we know you're besotted with celebrity, but go on.
But the halftime show is a big betting product. It's for Betstar as well, too.
Yeah, so there's multiple markets for it. When we go through the betting segment, I'll have the market on me for it then. But we're going to have markets around Beyonce. We're going to have markets around the colour of Gatorade that will be splashed on the winning coach after the game. It goes very broad, very wide.
How do you do the form on that?
You just throw them all in a hat and you put them $1.90 you pick.
We've also got Alicia Keys singing.
She's singing the national anthem.
The national anthem.
Pre-game.
They got the kids from Sandy Hook.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Which
yeah.
is it's
26 from the Sandy Hook Elementary School.
That's going to be a rare moment, I reckon. That's going to be a very emotional time here.
So they do such a great job with, you're going to the game to watch a game of NFL, of course, not only a game, but the Super Bowl, but you're actually going there to see concerts as well. You're going to see Beyonce, you're going to see Alicia Keys sing the anthem, and all the other entertainment that comes with it. I mean, it's a pretty good value ticket.
I was reading another survey. They had a survey in the paper today that for all the people watching the Super Bowl, aside from the game, what is the most attractive part about the broadcast for you? What are you watching the broadcast for outside of the game?
Commercials, I reckon, will be high.
Good call. 43% of people say the commercials. 20% of people say the food they eat during the Super Bowl. 19% saying seeing family and friends. 12% the halftime show. I thought it'd be a lot higher than that. And coming in at 6%, they're looking forward to yelling at the TV.
Look at that. And the biggest controversy in America is the corn costs have created a shortage in chicken wings. So they estimate only 1.2 billion chicken wings around America this weekend, which is 4 per person, by the way, when you work it out. But 1.2 billion is down 11% because of the high cost of corn.
You know, no matter which way you look at it, it's still a bad week for the Chooks.
This is Betstars and Stripes. We're in New Orleans, Louisiana, at the famous Radio Row. Plenty of guests throughout the course of the hour, and we'll catch up with them as we go along. We'll also find your winner for betstar.com.au. Alan Eskander takes it seriously. He is here, and he'll set your price on just about any element of the Super Bowl tomorrow. Jump online now at betstar.com.au, the home of American sport. More to come from Radio Row right here at Super Bowl 47.
I'm Garrett Selk from the San Francisco 49ers.
Hi, I'm Kyle Williams from the San Francisco 49ers.
You're listening to Betstars and Stripes on 1116 SEN.
Well done to the boys at the San Francisco 49ers for supporting Betstars and Stripes during the week of training. All the top stars there from the 49ers getting in the spirit. And that's one of the things, Al, during the week is the availability. And, Doc, you've seen it firsthand. The availability of the players is just first class here at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we talked about this. I talked about this with KB during the week, Kev and Craig. And you just actually... Quarters last night. I was talking to Steve Quartermain the other night. He was sort of saying that, in a way, the AFL treats the media as the enemy, whereas here they're corporate partners. Yep. And it's a philosophy that I know we've gone on about it for 2 or 3 years, but I find it embarrassing, Craig.
Well, Stephen Quartermain, we'll catch a word with him a little bit later on. Sorry, Al.
He's with Snoop Dogg, I believe. I know. We'll talk to Quarters later on, but I know he went to a party with Snoop Dogg the other night.
He did indeed. He's been rolling. It's his first Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to catching up with him on how he's got his way around. Al, take us through your markets for this weekend's game.
Yeah, we'll go through a couple of the colourful ones first, Hutch, if you like. So we've got we were talking about Beyonce. Beyonce is going to be the halftime entertainment. The market we've got up in relation to her is the outfit, the colour of her outfit. What colour will she be wearing?
Hang on, I'm thinking.
What do you think should be favourite, Doc? I mean,
I would
bling.
say...
I'm going to give you a hint. Bling.
What, gold?
Gold is favourite. Well done, Doc. $4.
I don't think gold suits Beyonce.
I think everything suits Beyonce.
Yeah, but you're shallow. I'm being critical and clinical here.
Yeah, you've got so much depth. Red is $4.50. Black, $5.
Red, no.
Silver, $6. White, $6.50. Blue, $9.
Hang on. What about if there's a wardrobe change?
So it'll be the outfit she first comes out in.
Okay. Oh, you've got a disclaimer there.
We will after this conversation.
Is there a market for a wardrobe malfunction?
No.
Which I think cost the network $200 million, didn't it? Was that the last...
Was that Janet Jackson or something?
It was Janet Jackson, and there was a wardrobe malfunction.
Yes.
That exposed a chocolate ripple.
Yes.
And...